cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Be a hero. September is the month of heroes in St. Kitts and Nevis. And for the months of September to October, Hosford's Automotive wants you to be a hero too. Yes! Drive like a hero at the massive Hosford's Automotive Be a Hero sales event. Go to Hosford's Automotive today and drive away like a hero with up to $35,000 discount on select models. Your choice of either free gas for 3 months or up to $1,000 in free groceries. Pay just 10% VAT. Yo, just 10% VAT. Free servicing for 1 year. Free bill of sale. Free registration, licensing, and tinting. Zero down payment. That's right. Absolutely zero down payment. And much, much more. Drive away like a hero from Hosford's Be a Hero sales event. The biggest, most heroic sales event ever in the Federation. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Alan, featuring Gwen Johnson, who decided to stay home because she just didn't want to be here with us today.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
Boy, if I tell you, yeah. I'm actually not a big fan of Klondike bars.
Yeah, same.
But I must admit that ad campaign was very successful because I did end up having to taste a Klondike bar.
A lot of people did try it, including myself, but I used to pick off chocolate.
Yeah. I don't know, I think he had too much peppermint. I don't know what it was. It just wasn't my thing. Give me a fudgesicle any day.
I used to like ice cream sandwiches.
No, I couldn't do that.
Right.
I couldn't do that. But yeah, fudgesicles, I was all about that. I was all about that life.
Well, let's jump into some news.
What time it is? Indeed. Oh man.
Somebody told me the other day, Kevin, every time you talk about COVID, you just instantly look tired. That's because I am.
Yes. Aren't we all?
We are all tired. And don't forget to wear your sunscreen today. Just an FYI.
Ooh.
And yes, you should still wear sunscreen. Even though you're a person that has melanin in your skin, you should still wear sunscreen.
Yeah. My moisturizer that I put on this morning has SPF 30. Yes, SPF 30. And that is becoming increasingly important for me.
Yes.
Increasingly important.
It's amazing. Like, just put on sunscreen and go.
You know what it is?
What?
Is the truth is like the effects of it on like us melanated kings and queens. Like, because it doesn't really affect us until like later down, sunspots and things when you get older. Like, we just kind of go along with it, and we don't peel as bad as some of the carcasses. But
wear your sunscreen.
Yeah, wear your sunscreen, people. Trust me.
I think, and the thing is too, I think what helps is, and a lot of people have like skin issues and stuff, and you will have no idea. You have no idea how much your skin will clear up from like dark spots when you wear sunscreen.
Yeah.
Because it protects your skin while you're outside and gives your skin a chance to like
Heal.
recover,
Yeah.
and your dark spots will clear up much faster. And other people like have hyperpigmentation, so like under their cheeks light and the forehead light and in the corners dark, and wear sunscreen and you'll see how that thing just naturally like even out. So do yourself a favor and wear some sunscreen.
Yo, you just be dropping gems, yo, Duke. Man. Just be on the ball, why?
This is a gem. Dropped.
Dropped. Boom.
Stupidness. Yeah, this is stupid. Think stupidness. Oh man, hear that song forever. Anyway.
Hey, by the way, I must say, good morning, Willie. Yeah.
Good morning to your biggest supporter.
Look, I support her as well. Okay, I support her as well.
I just realized a teacup on my table right here.
A what?
A little teacup on my table. This one right here.
Oh. But you know what's funny? I'm here. I have this amazing flask of tea, right? Which I've been trying to drink since the start of Caribbean Link Up. Haven't been able to do so yet. It's still too hot, and that is the problem I have with my flask. Like it works too well.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's the issue I have with my flasks as well. What I usually do is I just pour in the tea, and then I drop in an ice cube, and then
I dropped in several ice cubes. It did nothing.
Well, you see, the thing is, I don't want it to become like warm, because then warm means that it just meh. Like I still want it hot.
Yeah.
So I would drop, but my ice cubes are like not regular ice cubes. They're like cubes, like complete squares.
Yeah, I got you.
So they last. They're a bit bigger than your average ice cube. So when I drop in one and I usually close it and leave it, it usually cools it down enough for me to sip it without scorching my tongue.
Yeah.
Still hot, but
I'm
not at the scorch point.
Yeah, I'm still in Scotland. I'm just looking. I'm like I'm at the point where I'm just like looking in at the goodness it has sorrel in it today.
And your glass is getting foggy.
And my glass is getting foggy, and it's like I'm torturing myself. But anyway. Oh, by the way, speaking of ice cubes, I do really like those circular ice cubes. It makes me feel very sophisticated.
I do have those circular ice cubes as well.
You have a circular ice cube tray?
But the big ones, the cocktail ones.
Yes. I don't drink, but I sometimes will put it in cranberry juice and pretend that it's a cocktail. Don't judge me.
Oh boy.
Yes, with you do feel a little smarter and more bougie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, somebody heard my suggestion about the locally manufactured cigars. By the way, I don't know how many of you have seen, like you've seen the tobacco plants down at Romney Manor.
Yeah, that was a thing. Like I remember when they found them. Because those I think those plants were grown from like dormant seeds that were found there.
But I don't even know if it was a thing, like somebody did it, or they just kind of, because I believe I would have seen like tobacco trees around there.
I think if I remember correctly, I don't know it's on the St. Kitts Visitor Channel, but the Romney Manor thing, I think the seeds were found there, and they were like, yeah, these are like dormant seeds from back in the day.
Wow.
So I think I like that. So
it might be interesting. It might be interesting to see if we could get something out of that whole thing. But what I was saying is that somebody was listening to me make the suggestion and brought me a cigar, and I was like, I don't actually smoke cigars. So I do however, when I travel especially, I do go to cigar shops just to smell the aroma of unburned tobacco. Like I like the aroma, and and one of my favorite colognes does have the tobacco note in it. But yeah, I kept the cigar just to. Okay, thank you. They're like, I thought you were one of us. I was like, no, I just made a suggestion. But yeah. Well, thanks either way. Moving on. Very nice. Okay.
But let's see.
Still in Scotland.
So let's see. Let's go next.
Yeah, you seem like you're still COVID out.
Yeah, I'm over the COVID thing. So the Minister of Health has implemented new recommendations to aid in fighting COVID-19. This is St. Kitts and Nevis. So the Ministry of Health is working on relieving the load from the third wave of COVID-19 spread in the Federation by implementing new interventions to address COVID-19. In September 2021, it was reported that there was a delay in reported cases, and the returning of COVID-19 results caused a backlog at 3 labs in St. Kitts. Minister of Health Akila Byron Nisbet said that the Ministry of Health is actively working to alleviate this backlog. St. Kitts is regaining the services of the Joseph N. France Hospital, their laboratory, as it has been revalidated for processing COVID-19 tests. With the addition of the JNF lab, the capacity for testing increases to approximately 300 to 500 tests daily, inclusive of the other 3 labs, which are Abalon, NextGen, and QDL. Although the capacity for testing is growing in the Federation, the capabilities still fall short of servicing on demand. The ministry is looking to send samples overseas for processing. Now that we are in the situation where our numbers of samples are outweighing the capacity that we can accommodate, we are seeking assistance from the external parties in order for us to be able to run samples and to be able to get results to persons in a timely manner, which is a statement by the Minister.
I think this was a misstep.
Akila Byron Nisbet. You what?
I think this was a misstep.
How so?
Not what we're doing now. The fact that we had not done it prior to now. See, that was my thing with the lockdowns initially. The lockdowns, okay, we know community spread. We see we should be able to extrapolate and envision what it is that we need to do to build capacity. Right? So I do believe, like, the field hospital and stuff like that would have been things that they recognized by we got to step up on this. We're gonna need to build capacity. It's gonna be difficult for JNF to handle if we have a serious outbreak. So yeah, we need to figure out how do we address that situation. I think the testing as well should have been one of the things that we recognized we would have needed to build capacity for prior to this. Especially the thing about it with St. Kitts, right? St. Kitts in a very unique position. A lot of what we're dealing with the other islands dealt with before. And I don't, as much as we try to put things in place to avoid us getting there, well, let me not say that, because to be honest, it seems as though the suggestions that a lot of people are making are the same suggestions that other countries have made, and we've seen where those things have led. But I do believe that the fact that we are in a position now where testing is kind of kicking our butts and getting results in a timely manner, and having on-demand testing and on-demand results and that kind of thing is a problem. Yeah, I feel like we should have anticipated that, because of course building that kind of capacity can't be something that's done overnight. It ain't even like you could, like the field hospital where you could just order a hospital and put it up, and then all of a sudden, there's people that have to be trained. There's labs that probably have to be built, so a lot of that I think should have been put in place earlier clock, especially from the time we had that first community spread. Somebody messaging me about what I'm talking about now, so let me see what I say. But yeah, hopefully we're at a place where, because we recognize the situation, we're adapting and we're putting things in place, and that seems to be the key to what was said in the release. But yeah, bye. That is causing a lot of issues, and like I mentioned earlier, because of the backlog, I have been speaking to people, and there are people who literally are telling me, but I can't really promise you if I come into contact with somebody who I know has COVID that I'm going to go get tested or report, or even if I feel I have COVID that I'm going to report it, because of the backlog. Like, let's say if you tell me quarantine for 2 weeks, okay, I quarantine for 2 weeks, I should be able to do my test at the end of the 2 weeks and get my my result, whether positive or negative, in a timely manner. And the fact that it feels as though that's not happening, or that's what we are seeing, I mean, even the contact tracing is difficult, and I believe that capacity could grow faster. But when it comes to the testing, it's like literally build labs and have people to work in those labs. Even though I believe that's something that we maybe need to look into importing. I have a friend who was here in December of 2018, so actually just before COVID kick off down here, who was from the States, is a lab technician who wanted to come here and had opened like a mobile lab service. So there's people who are willing to migrate and have the technical skills that we need given the present situation. So perhaps that's something we need to look into as well. Programs that encourage persons with these kinds of skills to come into the country to be able to help us to build the capacity to deal with the situation that we're in. But I do not see a situation where it's getting better in terms of the numbers. I think for some time going forward, we are going to see more people needing to get tested. We're going to see numbers increasing. Even if people some people continue, doing what they have to do to avoid or to minimize the chance of them contracting the virus. But even if people start to take it a little more serious and I think by the horse has left the stable, and I don't know if he's coming back. Yeah, the horse has, as a matter of fact, the horse has bolted. The horse has bolted, so we're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna have to wait and see exactly how that plays out. Yeah, but Prosecco Pop.
One moment. Are we here? Yeah, my earphones were connected, and so I was just like, huh?
Yeah, but yeah, I was just talking about the fact that we really need to build capacity. Perhaps we could even look into encouraging persons with those skills to migrate. Yeah. And this is the bit my thing too, This is the bit my thing. In these situations, we have to be strategic. It can't be the status quo. We have a long history of encouraging real estate developers, of encouraging hotels to come here, and we give them crazy incentives for them to be able to do that. Perhaps now is the time we start moving into other sectors where we recognize we need assistance and we need growth. Like, so for example, if somebody wants to come and set up a lab here, perhaps tax-free holiday. Now, bear in mind, I do believe that some of these things need to be given to locals as well. I believe that unfairly incentivize foreigners and stuff like that. But given the present situation, perhaps even programs like the CBI and so we maybe need to shift focus a bit from condominiums and real estate to perhaps health services, recognizing the path that we're on. But why not? I might just be talking nonsense. I don't know.
Yeah, that's all we do here. Chat nonsense. We're not professionals.
Sing stupidness.
My name? A man followed the letter street.
I follow the letter street and
Buckingham.
I'm Buckingham. Boy. Them lettuce trees, but I really just do it for you, boy.
Over it.
Cow jump over the moon.
Usa.
Yes.
Let's jump to the next thing. Did you do one before while I vanished into the
No, I really just bang them out about that same thing, and I'm waiting for you to move me off of it. Yeah, just say bang them out as we would say.
I don't want to. Jade, why? Jade, I know you're listening.
That's when she ain't coming. That's when she ain't come, because she see the topics and my come ain't coming.
Jade, you're listening. What? Please, why so many COVID articles on this list?
That's all in the news. And the thing about it, somebody was asking me, why you gotta keep talking about COVID? Why COVID? I said, because it increasingly affects everything.
It is. It really
That's
is.
what I know.
And
it ain't
like you can't have a conversation about it now because it integrated itself into
everything. Like, you want to talk about basketball, you got to talk about COVID now. Like, all these players saying they're not gonna get vaccinated and they can't play certain places and all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just we keep talking about COVID, not because COVID juicy and the story, but because in order to talk about anything,
let's talk about COVID.
Yeah, we keep having these conversations because it keeps being, being part of everything else. So yeah.
Also, my friend is back and she says hi.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome
back, my friend. We've missed you dearly.
We've missed you.
After the birthday shout out, vanish.
Why? Oh, why?
Welcome back, Leo. Good morning. We've missed you. Let's jump into another article. So COVID related.
This is like the second time Cleo went missing here. What have you got on in Cleo life, eh?
Cleo has a life, and sometimes she can get lost in sauce. Why not?
Yeah, her life does not revolve, and for that we're sorry.
Well, so COVID-19 tests are soon to be done in Nevis, says the federal minister.
Oh, that has not been happening. Wow.
I didn't know this. So even after the purchasing of a polymerase chain reaction PCR machine for Nevis more than a month ago, COVID-19 tests are still not being done on the island of Nevis. But the Minister of Health, Akila Barron-Nisbet, says that it will be soon happening. Speaking in Parliament on Thursday, the Federation's health minister said that efforts are being made to get the PCR machine online at the island's hospital. The Alexandra Hospital is working on getting a PCR machine online. Mm-hmm. Once it is online, we will certainly see an increase in the capacity for COVID-19 tests, and it will allow for Nevis to be able to take care of their own samples. According to the article by the Nevis Island Administration's Department of Information dated August 27th, 2021, Nevis Island Administration secured a PCR machine that would allow for COVID-19 testing to be carried out at the lab at the Alexandra Hospital. Premier of Nevis, Mark Brantley, who also serves as the island's Senior Minister of Health, announced at his August 26, 2021 press conference that the equipment had arrived on island through the generous donation from the Drahi Foundation based in Switzerland.
Okay.
So there is one on the island. It's not up and running, but they plan to get it up and running.
Yeah, man.
That would also be, helping to relieve the load of the COVID-19 testing. So not only has JNF now been looped into testing, but Alexandra Hospital in Nevis will be looped into testing.
Yeah.
So that's an extra 2 labs we've gained to test.
Love it. Late, but love it.
Yeah, late but love it.
Yeah. Let's not wait until people start to say the oxygen running out for us to walk away and get oxygen from too. Let's get on that now, no?
Yeah, let's be a little proactive and let's get things before we need them.
Please.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah,
I think.
I tell you, we got
wrong,
watch.
you know.
Watch what going on. What happening there? Probably gonna happen here. We try to avoid it, but you know, you plan for the best and prepare for the worst.
These COVID situations are a little inevitable.
Yeah. Especially if you're doing the exact same thing.
I mean, my thing is too. What we see though is like we are just late to the party every time with COVID.
That's all.
You know, what's been happening in islands months ago is now happening with us. And it's, you know, we're just delaying our arrival to that point.
It feels like we're delaying the inevitable.
Being proactive would be a bad thing.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yes,
If we could hold off, well, why not? But if we know these things are on their way, well, then why not prepare for them?
Yeah.
If we see other islands are now having oxygen shortage. We are now seeing our cases spike. Does that not signal that an oxygen shortage is on its way for us? You know,
and I think what happened is I don't know if it's a optics thing, but I think at this point we how you present things is very important. So we have a commenter, a viewer online, and made a comment and said, "Do like Antigua get the freezer containers too?" Yes. No. The optics might look bad, like, oh my god, they think people can dead. Hopefully we don't use them. And that's fine to say. Like, hopefully we don't use them.
But there's nothing wrong with having them.
Yes.
And I think that's what we're missing. I think what we're missing is that there's nothing wrong with having them.
Again, plan for the best, prepare for the worst.
Right, you know, I mean, it does. I mean, yeah, you know, purchasing these things and then, you know, the optics might look bad because it's like, oh, something happened and they're telling us, no, we're just actually preparing for, you know, worst case scenario. But preparing for the worst case scenario doesn't mean that it's, you know, going to happen.
We have to get there.
It's the same like preparing for a hurricane. If there's somebody tells you, you know, a hurricane is incoming, why not prepare? You could prepare for the worst. That doesn't mean the worst will happen.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with being prepared for it.
See, those two things could be true. Like, you can prepare for the worst while actively try to avoid it. You understand? And I think that's kind of where we're gonna have to go. And use the advantages. We have a couple advantages, right? We have a couple advantages in economics. To say economies of scale. Like, we're small, right? We're at a point where we have managed, based on the way that we've handled the pandemic up to now, avoided being one of the countries that experienced the worst the quickest. Right?
Yeah.
So let's use those advantages. Let's maximize those advantages. We're small, and as one of the ministers told me one time, "We're rich." I don't know if you could say that now. I don't want to say which minister told me that. I said, but how are you? You must be rich. No, man. But yeah, so let's use these things to our advantage and prepare. Prepare for the worst while actively try to avoid it.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, nine. We're not the smartest bulb. We're not the brightest bulbs in the box, which is why we don't have the positions. So
yeah, these things above the pay grade, I tell you.
Way above.
Not the sweetest stalk of sugar cane in the field, but yeah.
I never heard that one before.
But that's my head. I say all the time.
I never heard that one before. I just use the brightest bulb in the box.
That one is uniquely Kittian. I should, you know what? Let me call Gian. Let me call Gian. Let me trademark it or something.
Not if I call Gian first. Well, let's see. Let's jump to another one.
Oh, this tea is so good. I'm out of Scotchland now.
Let's talk about currently drinking water with this splash of lemon.
I'm currently ignoring the callers.
Oh.
I just don't want to have a comment. I just don't want to have a comment.
Ecuador declares prison emergency after 116 persons were killed in a riot.
Let's talk about that. If you guys want to talk about the riot, Colin.
So Ecuador's president has declared a state of emergency in the prison system following a battle among gang members in a coastal prison that killed at least 116 people and injured 80 in what authorities say was the worst prison bloodbath in the history of the country. Officials said that at least 5 of the dead were found to be beheaded.
What?
President Guillermo Lasso decreed a state of emergency on Wednesday, which will give the government powers that include deploying police and soldiers inside prisons. The order came a day after the bloodshed at the Littoral Penitentiary in a part of part of the country that officials blamed on gangs linked to international drug cartels fighting for control of the facility. Lasso, visibly moved by the carnage, said at a news conference that what had happened in the prison was bad and sad.
What?
And there's quotes, bad and sad, is his actual words. That's not what he could have said. He also said that he could not guarantee that authorities had regained control of the lockup at the time. His statement was, "It is regrettable that the prisons are being turned into territories of power by criminal gangs." He added that he would act with absolute firmness to regain control of the Littoral prison and prevent the violence from spreading to other penitentiaries.
Hey,
Images circulating on social. Hey.
I told the people to call if they wanted to talk about the beheadings. We have a call on the line. Let's see. Caller, good morning. Okay. You're live on LNT. Fingers crossed.
Yes, good morning. This is Dr. Wilkinson. How are you doing?
Morning.
We're doing good.
I have a feeling, I have a sneaky suspicion you're not calling to talk about beheadings.
Well, I've been calling for quite some time while you were on a different topic, and the ringing. I was about to come down to the studio to find out whether you or Kevin were sleeping.
How you doing? How you doing, Doc?
Well, I am fine. And I always listen to the discussion, but I don't want to sound like a stuck record. But everything comes back to the obvious solution that we know is right in our hand.
Prayer? And fasting? No? Okay. Oh, my bad.
No, not prayer and fasting, because we already prayed and fast, and our prayers were answered in that we have more than sufficient vaccines now to vaccinate every single adult over the age of 18. We have more than sufficient vaccines to vaccinate every citizen over the age of 12. And we know that the vaccines prevent us from getting severe disease, from being hospitalized, and help us to fight off death, okay, from our COVID-19. And therefore, the solution, for example, when people complain about, let's start with the schools, we have the opportunity to have our high schools open and stay open so that we don't have to have in-class learning. I'm pretty certain you and Kevin, like me, would have had great difficulty learning maths and physics virtually, as opposed to sitting in a classroom with a teacher.
Learning anything online is difficult for me.
Okay, good. And so the solution to keeping our high schools open is ensuring that our teenagers get vaccinated. And so I want to make this appeal to all the parents out there and guardians and all the teenagers also, because I've been seeing teenagers who've been coming to me telling me that they had to tell their parents that they wanted to get vaccinated, and they forced their parents to take them to the health centers to get vaccinated, because it's only if we have a significant threshold of persons in our school vaccinated, we'll be able to keep them open. And the Prime Minister said we're aiming for 80% of our high school children to be vaccinated. And so the discussion shouldn't just be how we're going to organize virtual learning, but we know that we can get to in-class learning by having persons vaccinated. I heard your discussions about the freezers and the body bags, etc. But we can also prevent that by making sure that persons get vaccinated. I believe what has really saved St. Kitts so far going through this wave is the fact that we have a relatively high vaccination rate. But if you look at the 13 deaths that we've had so far, 11 have been unvaccinated. And the general public, some persons in the general public has this misconception that if they have kidney disease, heart disease, etc., they can't take the vaccine. These are the persons who need to come forward and get vaccinated, because COVID-19, if they get an infection, will push them over the edge. And most of the persons who we've seen dying are persons with pre-existing conditions who are unvaccinated. I pause there just in case you have a question, because I don't want to take over your show.
Well, no, I mean, it's interesting that you would have outlined, the ratio of the unfortunate deaths related to COVID that were vaccinated versus unvaccinated. Has that been a request that you guys have gotten to release that type of information?
Well, we have been releasing the information. What we don't do is immediately after someone dies is to release
the status, the vaccination status.
Yes,
right,
you understand. Right. Because then, but what we do is release general trend, because St. Kitts is a very small place.
Correct.
When I worked in New York City, you step outside the hospital, no one knows you. Here, if we say there is a guy who works at WinFM with a beard, everybody knows who we're talking about.
Yeah, Kevin, yeah.
You understand? So we have to protect people's identity also, but we still attempt to give the general trend so that the public can know the categories of our cases that are being infected.
Yeah, I got you.
And, yes, and so we just need to continue pushing the vaccine. And so we are hoping to see more school children coming out next week. I don't know if you saw the recent vaccination trial where we have 76% of the adults with one shot. And I think the Prime Minister in his address said that we are hoping to get to 80% so that we can look at shortening our quarantine periods, etc. And so people have to understand the balance. You can't be on one hand complaining that, when you come home, you have to be quarantined, when you travel and come back, you have to be quarantined for 4 days, but yet not trying to get other persons to get vaccinated so we can get to the 80%. You understand?
Right. All right.
So continue your good work and continue to try to encourage persons to come forward to be vaccinated so we can get back to some sense of normalcy. Okay? Thank you all, guys.
All right, thanks for calling, Doc. Really appreciate it. Big friend of the show. Avid listener, apparently. I still believe you the thief some of my suggestions here, but I appreciate it. You ain't got to give me no credit. Just do them. Oh boy, Kev.
Yes.
So yes, beheadings. Yes. Oh man. Hey, this show is something else. Yeah. This show is something else.
I guess you jump back into beheadings.
It makes my life very interesting.
As if my day isn't interesting enough already.
Oh man. No, but you see, one of the things I always find interesting about like the story that we're discussing in terms of the prison riot.
Mm-hmm.
It's well documented what has been happening in Ecuador with the serious increase in gang violence as a result of the deportation of gang members from the US back to Ecuador, right? But when we have these types of situations now, we don't really remember that part, We don't really remember that part. We don't really remember the fact that a lot of what's happening in some of these islands is a direct consequence of what would have happened in the bigger countries where they're trying to, how should I put it? I can't even say sweep stuff under the rug. It's almost like they sweep up everything in the bin and then throw it in the neighbor house. Throw it in the neighbor house, but that's kind of what's going on there. but I do not know how we get to a point where these things are a thing of the past.
Wait it out.
Wait it out?
Give ourselves
Wait it out?
another 20 years.
Hey, have you ever been involved in a gang fight?
No, I think that would mean I would have to be in a gang.
Not necessarily.
I'm in the gang of the Lord.
Ah, you're in the Lord's army? I am in the Lord's army. Salute. Yeah. Well, I won't continue with my story since you won't be able to relate. Moving on. A lot of that was being said in the story. But moving on.
Okay, next. No. Woo. Feel a lot to come in. So US lawmakers are questioning the Facebook and Instagram policies for children.
Oh, isn't this a bit late? Okay. Let's go.
Right? So United States lawmakers have heaped criticism on Facebook and the company's plan, Facebook Incorporated, on the company's plan to protect children who use its social media platforms. After a leaked internal investigation showed the social media giant was aware of how its Instagram app harmed the mental health of teenagers. The Senate Consumer Protection Subcommittee hearing on Thursday came after the Wall Street Journal newspaper published articles on how Facebook knew its photo sharing platform, Instagram, caused some teenagers, particularly girls, to feel bad about their self-image. Amid mounting questions, Facebook earlier this week paused plans to develop Instagram Kids, saying it wanted time to work with parents, experts, policymakers, and regulators to list their concerns. Not sure why Instagram needs a kids, but at Thursday's hearing, Facebook's head of global security,
we need to be able to make it easier for all the predators to know exactly who's who.
We all know Facebook is one who is bent on exploiting personal data information through its platforms. So this comes as zero surprise to me.
Yep. Look, but at the same time, Kevin, ideally, what would happen is that parents would educate themselves on the dangers of social media. Also, once you educate yourself on the dangers, then you educate your children on how to deal with those situations. I believe that is very much missing. Social media is one of those things where it's such a big part of our life, but nobody discusses how to navigate it properly. Like the navigation of social media is something that is not very much discussed, which I feel it really makes it a dangerous place. I do understand that a lot of parents may not be computer savvy. We're at a place now where, like, our kids, we might be a bit more, aware and up to date and technology.
But still, it's coming to the point where we're getting out of tune with it.
Yeah. Because one of the I have a young cousin, and she. When I say young, I'm talking about under the age of 10. And I get so scared when I see her like in the phone and the iPad all the time. Because as much as I could admit, I may not be totally aware of all the dangers. Those that I am aware of are very very worrying. And so one of the things that I recognize that really made me question whether or not this is cool is these RPG type games. The games where your avatar and you walk around and you talk to other people. Like you have no idea who you're talking to. Like for 8-year-old, they're not questioning whether or not this person who has a avatar of a cute girl with a bow is anything that reflects the avatar. So it might be a burly old guy in Wisconsin when the profile says they're 9-year-old in Nevis. Right, and like those are the type of things that really scare me, right? I mean, in terms of what we read in the article, where it's like the effect that social media and interacting with social media is having on the psyche of kids, that is, we don't have to go and research anymore. Like we see self-esteem going down. We see bullying. We see suicides.
It's basically skyrocketing.
Yeah, like we see people's self-image. We see how people how important people rank the opinions of strangers. These are things that we really didn't have to deal with. Like I had my circle of friends. I had people in the school, I had teachers, I had people at church, I had family. Those are pretty much the people that affected my life in a very direct way, right? Those are my interactions. Your interactions now, once you get online, is with everybody. With everybody. And because attention drives social media, it also drives excesses and drives people to do things to stand out. At the times it ain't good things.
Right.
You know? Like attention isn't only given to admirable actions. As a matter of fact, those tend to get less attention. And so you get less of that being like sought after or chased. Like
yeah. You know, I do encourage parents though, you know, there are the tools to assist. I know you can't catch everything. But there are tools to assist you in sort of being aware of what your child is up to on like devices. And I really employ parents to, you know, take advantage of that.
You got to educate yourself.
I know, like on Apple device, I know almost all kids like have a tablet at this point. And I know like some kids have like iPads or whatever.
Let's get a leapfrog, yeah?
It's a conversation. But like, you know, I know like Apple devices, you can set it up in a way like it's a child, like as a child account kind of thing, which means like and like you get weekly reports of what apps were being used and how much they were being used. You can also set limits on the app, which means like I think like hourly limits. So like you could limit the app to like 2 hours a day. Mm-hmm. So when the 2 hour cap, you get to the 2 hour cap, the app now deactivates and you can't open the app anymore. I know you could set up all those things, and I really encourage parents to use them, including like downloading apps. I know you could set up in a way where like if a child tries to download something, you will get the notification on your phone and you will have to approve it for it to be able to be downloaded. And stuff like that. So I really do encourage like parents to, you know, definitely take advantage of those things that are available to help.
You know, and also just do some research and purchase kid appropriate hardware as well.
Yeah, there's like LeapPads.
Leapfrog has like tablet type devices that are, you know, geared towards kids of certain ages. Because it's not a matter that you don't want them interacting with technology. You just want them to interact with technology safely. Right? Like this is the world we live in. Understanding that kind of stuff is very important. I mean, I'm be straight up with you. Like I have young children in my family that I care a lot about. And I heard of a situation a few weeks ago from a parent that totally like messed me up. Said that her daughter was going to school on a school bus. So this is a high school or fresh into high school. Going to school on a school bus, and the guy who was sitting next to her pulls out his phone and shows her like pornographic material. And so that is why I feel like, yeah, you have to educate your children. You have to, all this is why I believe we need sex education. All this is the kind of thing
Agreed.
that understanding how to deal with these situations and how do you, and why is it important to avoid certain type of traumas, right? But anyway, and that right there is a big scare for me. I mean, I think a lot of us would have experienced something like that, like the one dude who stole his older cousin or older brother's magazine and brought it to school and that kind of thing. But it's like, it's so accessible now.
Very accessible.
Very
Just to do it
accessible,
in pocket.
and what is accessible is on such a level that and I'll talk plainly. Like, I believe that most persons' introduction into pornography happened in school. And there was no limit. It was like, oh, just type in this when you go home in Internet Explorer and tell me and come back tomorrow and tell me what you see. like them kind of conversations be happening. And the truth is, I think that it would be ignorant of us to believe that those experiences don't shape us. They do shape us. There are people who traumatized after things they see when they was in primary school.
Right.
Like, real talk. Like, some of the videos that were going on when we was in school, I still refuse to even go check it out now. Because it just, the description at that, I knew at that point I did not want to see it. And imagine as a 762-year-old man now and still didn't want to see it. So, but there were kids that were watching it, I could tell you that. There were kids that were watching it, and when we were watching and trying to figure out what it is that's driving certain behaviors, what's driving certain things in response to relationships. There's people who right now having problems fostering proper romantic relationships because of the relationship they have with pornography. Like, these is real things. This is real things.
Crazy.
So if big people can't deal with that, like, and that's only one aspect.
My thing is that, try your best. Just, I know you can't catch everything, but I think what's also important here is to educate your children.
Yes.
I think leaving your children in the dark to figure things out on their own is not a great. It doesn't do what you think it does.
Oh, I could
this culture of avoiding conversations.
I could say something real quick.
Of course.
Because this is one of the things that does really upset me, especially about Caribbean parents. Caribbean parents have this thing, right, where they go, oh, I want to expose my child to XYZ or prepare my child for XYZ. And what that means in their minds is to literally expose them to XYZ. However, a lot of the times, what's really happening is the parents' inability to discipline themselves and their behaviors. So what they do is they justify their behavior and they justify the fact that their kid by saying, he got to learn, he can see it somewhere, he can see it. No. When we're talking about education, then what are we talking about? When we're talking about education, we ain't talking about, well, because you feel some child might rush up on your child in school and show them something that they shouldn't see, then that means you should show them first? Like, no.
That's not how it works. I think it just educate.
But I just needed to make that clear because it's something that is very upsetting to me. It's because I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot. Like, you pick up it's Friday afternoon, you pick up your daughter from school, Your usual thing is to go line by the bar. Like, I hate to see 6 and 7-year-old girls by a bar on Friday afternoon. I hate to see it. I don't know about anybody else, but it's talking for me. And I've had conversations with guys who do it, and that's the excuse. Like, no man, you got to prepare them, you know, you want to shelter child. No, you just ain't want to go home. You just ain't want to go home. So this excuse of this is how you educate and prepare your child for whatever. I don't see that as the only way to educate, right? So should we talk about education? I think sometimes we gotta be clear as to what education looks like.
And what the education looks like.
Yeah.
For sure.
Don't make your inability to discipline yourself an opportunity to educate, in quotes, your child. But we have a call on the line. Call, good morning, 11 LNT. What's up?
Yes, good morning. Good morning, my friend.
Morning, my friend. Morning, my friend. Welcome back.
I'm listening to your conversation, and one thing also that, especially in the Caribbean, cable. Y'all need to choose what channel you subscribe to, because I can honestly tell you, when I come home to think it, and if I run into it, I'm sure when the children get home from school, they run into it. In scanning the channels, you see raw daylight on the TV, HBO and all those channels. Those are channels I don't even have here on my TV. But when I go think it, they're on the TV there, so when you're scanning, you run into those things. So can you imagine the children when they get home from school and they're home by themselves, and you have those channels, they sit there and watch those stuff also. So it's not just in school, they're seeing it from a friend. I guarantee you they're watching it at home when the parents are not home. So as parents, we should watch what channel we subscribe to on our TV. You have a good day.
Yeah, for sure. That's a big one.
Thank you very much. And you know, that's also a very good point.
Big up all the Max After Dark people, them, yeah?
But
that's a real thing. Hey, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. A lot of people been sneaking down and putting the TV on mute in the night.
Anyway, so
okay.
Parents, you can employ, you know, these TVs, the newer TVs, they do come with parental controls, which means you can block certain channels at certain times. You can block them completely, where in order to access them, you need to put in a password. Or you could have them scheduled blocked, like after a certain time, they're blocked. So please, you know, parents, employ them. You know, there's tools at your disposal. Or you could just go the retro route and just not have the channel. That's also an option too. But, you know, just I think as parents, you just need to be a little mindful of what's happening around your house and with your kid. Yeah.
Me not understand what's going on here, Kevin. I said, Max, after that, my phone just start going crazy. All the closet muters by.
Please don't mix me in this.
Kevin just done tell you how to deal with it, guys.
I was watching Cartoon Network, watching, you know, enjoying my cartoons. Thank you very much.
But I'm gonna be honest. I was more of the Toonami guy, the Adult Swim guy. I was more an Adult Swim guy. So yeah, I understand. But I hear the tricks. I know the tricks. You know, you figure out what channel, whatever it was, like 32. So you put your channel on 32, but then you go back to like channel 2, which was like Cartoon Network at the time. So that you could always just hit previous channel on the remote. Yo, this is real things. And like people, and the thing is, people, this, you know what? One of the problems is, right, because we see these topics as so taboo, right? And we're talking a lot about like sexuality and that kind of thing here. But this goes for even topics like online bullying, and people find these things difficult to talk to the kids about. And it's like, no, you need to talk to your kids. Like, there's kids right now walking around, and you just think, oh, she's quiet and oh she's no they're dealing with real situations. They post a picture and somebody tell them they look like a horse and they take it on. No, if you don't prepare and have these conversations with your kids, like, they're left to try and navigate these situations by themselves. Because you didn't talk about it don't mean they're gonna deal with it. Right? So we have to get out of our way sometimes and be able to put ourselves in uncomfortable positions so that we could help, our loved ones to deal. Like, we can't just ignore or on the other hand go down there. It's all about finding that balance, right? Finding that balance, man. But bye.
Find the balance.
Bye. I was gonna say something, but I want to mash up the airways, so I'm going cool.
Oh yeah. Visai. Let's get it together as a nation, please.
Shabang say he grew up in a house where he couldn't even watch The Simpsons. Here. My parents was tense on the programming too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I couldn't. I don't think I was allowed to watch. If I remember, I don't think I could have watched it.
Yeah, you know what? Even things my mother would consider like witchcraft. My mother ain't in that there. My mother wasn't in that. No, half the shows right now involve like some kind of like sorcery.
Right.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Sorry, Kevin, I think I cut you up just now. My bad.
No, I think okay. No.
But yeah, guys, like, please, we're seeing too many kids, especially as a result of social media, having real emotional struggles. And I think we have to do what we can until things are put in place on a wider level that we could say, well, yeah, just do this. And it has to be a very active process and something gradual. You can't just decide that your child like turn 9 now and all of a sudden they have a phone and there's free access to everything. Instagram, Facebook, all that. Like, you're setting up yourself for some, not yourself, you're setting up your child for some very uncomfortable scenarios, having not prepared them. So, and I also think that's one of the things too. A gradual movement into that. Not free reign, but a gradual movement into that kind of thing could probably help.
Involve yourself in your children's lives, people. That helps. Don't make them afraid of you, because then they will never talk to you. They'll never ask you questions. They'll never come to you to ask the questions that they want to ask. So they'll find somebody else to ask them to who might not give them the information that is needed.
Hey, you better go prepare yourself, yeah. You got children.
Who?
No, when I say, I mean people. Like you not you. I know your dog don't have an Instagram.
Oh,
I know your dog don't. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean, you better prepare yourself as a parent. Yeah. You gotta figure out. Talk to your friends who got children all and be like, hey, how do I deal with this? You better get ready. You have a responsibility, so sort out yourself. Don't be like, I didn't have to deal with this. You better find out what they're dealing with.
Yeah, but you do know, so.
Well.
Let's spice up the conversation with another Miami news.
Oh, anything from Florida, Jiggy, no?
Any Florida news is Florida man.
Florida man.
So a passenger on a flight that arrived in Miami opened the emergency door and jumped onto the wing of the plane.
Vibes.
An American Airlines passenger on a flight that arrived to Miami International Airport opened an emergency door on the aircraft and jumped onto one of the wings just as the aircraft reached the gate on Wednesday night. The bizarre incident happened around 7:30 p.m. on a flight that arrived from Cali, Colombia, and ended within minutes as cops immediately took the man into custody, according to police and a statement by American Airlines. The man, who was caught while walking on the wing, has not been officially identified, but local news outlets are stating that he was a 33-year-old U.S. citizen. He was reportedly detained by U.S. Customs, Border and Protection and was taken to the hospital for an evaluation. The Miami-Dade Police Department has since taken over the case, but there's no word on a possible motive or any charges that were issued. The other passengers on the plane were able to get off without further incident. Florida man.
Florida man by like what could have been the purpose? Again, you know what it is? You know what it is for me? A lot of these things is people just trying to do things to get some attention or just to do things. Like, you know those people who like run onto the field at like soccer games? Like
Just the streakers?
not even the streakers, like the people who run onto the field like with their phone to try and get a picture and then post it. And it's like, by watch it, right? You lucky you ain't get one of them clothesline from them abnormally huge human beings here.
What? They will tackle you so hard.
Bro, I don't know if there's like a breeding farm or something for them security guards that they see at them concerts when they travel to the US. Them man must be different, me boy. Them man ain't even look human. I wonder if they got some secret lab where they produce them or something. I say, boy, one time I remember I was on tour with this band and we're doing a show at one of them like race tracks, and so they have the barriers and the guards, and I look over at my assistant and I was like, you realize none of the security guards have necks? There was not one neck among them.
It's just like it's just straight shoulder to neck,
shoulder to chin.
well, traps. Shoulders. It's void of shoulders, like a tree trunk. It's just like, it just goes straight from your jawline to your shoulders.
Oh my! I don't understand how people just put themselves in them positions there just to get a pick. Yeah.
Not me, you know.
Yeah.
No.
One of them man there boxing your face just sink in, yeah. Just sink in, by. So yeah. But yeah, Florida man, usual Wednesday afternoon. I lived in Florida and we used to just watch the news as like entertainment. It was like a reality show. Literally we used to watch News 6. I remember it, News 6, and somebody said maybe it's the roids.
Maybe. I think maybe he's very modest.
Oh man, I like to work on my trap, see.
Yeah, let me some.
Yeah, some shoulder shrugs.
Let me go lift up a 2B's bucket. And just shrugs.
Yes, guys, remember, be active. There is a time to be healthy and work on your overall health.
Over it.
We got a few more minutes, Kevin. What are we doing? You're doing
2 more minutes. Go sleep.
Go sleep is an option. Well, not for the people listening, because Sandra's coming up next with your view, so make sure you guys stick around for that.
Stick and stay.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Let's see. Keep your country clean, people. Oh, Leah, I have something. So I've been seeing a lot of beach videos lately. People going to the beach and having a nice time. Please take what you bring with you, and take something you didn't. Meaning trash.
Yes. Just like your swim trunks and your towel, a garbage bag should be on the list of things you take to the beach.
Definitely, when you go to the beach, always take with you an extra plastic bag, because I know everybody puts plastic bags in the car to throw in their wet swim stuff.
Yeah, in their trash bag.
Take an extra one with you, because when you have your chips, your chips bag, your conkles bag, your Sprite bottle, your something, throw it in a garbage bag and take it with you. And it doesn't hurt to take something extra in terms of trash. If you see a nearby bag that doesn't belong to you, feel free to put your hand inside the bag and grab it, and then turn the bag inside out. But please just keep the beaches clean. Like, we love to brag and boast about St. Kitts beaches, and then we don't take care of them. And then when we look to like the tree line on a beach, it's like full of sun bleached trash, which means it's been sitting there for an extremely long time. Like, please, let's keep our beaches clean.
Yeah.
Like, it's not nice to brag about the country and do nothing to keep it clean.
Yeah, the other thing too is yesterday I went to the country, and on my way back I saw 2 accidents on my way back. So I just want to encourage people to pay attention on the road, be safe, slow down. I don't like traffic accidents at all, man. That's one thing that is that's really made me very uncomfortable, because I think with the traffic accidents, it's like this game of inches, right? Like it's a game of inches and a game of like speed. Like 5 more miles per hour to the left, you don't know what could happen.
Right.
And so just really want to encourage people listening to be safe. The weekend is coming up. Be mindful, pay attention. That text can wait.
Utilize your stuff. Your phone can send texts with voice.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
If the text is that urgent, you can ask your phone's digital virtual assistant
Usually,
to do it for you.
Usually, if the text is that important, they probably can't say it out loud. You know, a woman in the car trying to let the girl know she got to leave now because she's coming home. So yeah, but be careful. Be careful. That is the point. Be careful. I'm Kevin. What's the matter, Kevin?
I don't know to say.
That text
I
can wait.
feel like this should have just incriminate me all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. What you're trying to tell people about in car with people that buy Kevin Hanley by? Yeah, I was incriminating somebody. But guys, I'm here to tell you, I'm here to tell you to just be safe. I ain't giving you a lot of things like Kevin was doing just now.
Oh my god. Watch me get sued and me do nothing.
Dr. Wilkinson said people don't recognize you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, guys. But we're gonna head out. It's Friday. We had a great week. Appreciate all you guys to tune in. Some of you guys, I know you guys were here every day, Monday to Friday. Gawain, SH, Shabang, Witty. Me see Axman today. Okay, now,
Right?
Anyway, probably he might get him in trouble because he always saying some weirdness. But yeah, guys, it's been
problematic acts, man.
You understand? It's been great. I had a lot of fun this week. To be honest, coming here and talking to you guys, and whether you join me on Facebook or on YouTube on Win Media SKN, if you listen to us on Win Media SKN's webpage, still appreciate you. Whether you listen to us on the radio, big up yourself one time. Make sure you turn it up loud and obnoxious. That is just a pro tip from your Uncle Royal. But guys, we have Sandra coming up next with your review. Like I said before, stay tuned, stay locked, don't go nowhere. And before we leave, there's a little saying. There's a little saying that my friend, the Duke of Frigate Bay, the Prosecco Papi, the chapstick god, the slim god, the freak of neatness himself, likes to say, Sir Kevin Hanley. And I think he will share it with you now.
Because remember, that you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. We'll see you not tomorrow. Not happening. On Monday.
The symptoms of the coronavirus are similar